Cancel.
Schweezy.
Okay, this is from OK Player. Dave Chappelle went to his old high school and had a rough time. Dave Chappelle went back and forth with students over his latest Netflix special, The Closer. Dave Chappelle went to his alma mater, Duke Ellington School of the Arts in Washington, D.C., and met with students on Tuesday, November 23rd. According to reports, the meeting was contentious. According to Politico, Chappelle made an unannounced visit to his old school and spoke for about an hour with around 580 students. The visit comes on the heels of the school postponing a fundraiser for a theater named after the comedian after students threatened to protest the event. Chappelle came with the cameras rolling even though he asked the students in attendance to put their phones away, which is standard for Chappelle's show. Chappelle was reportedly announced with a mix of applause and boos. There was a question and answer portion, and that's where the issues came up. A student called Chappelle a bigot and said that Chappelle handled the controversy around his latest Netflix special, The Closer, like a child. The question was confirmed by Chappelle's PR rep, Carla Sims. Chappelle reportedly responded by saying, "My friends, with all due respect, I don't believe you can make one of the decisions I have to make on a given day. Things continued to evolve from there. According to students, Politico talked with the crowd, felt like Chappelle laughed at students' questions or didn't respond seriously to them. At one point, a student left and Chappelle said, of course she left early. At another point, Chappelle told the students, I'm better than every instrumentalist artist, no matter what art you do in the school right now. I'm better than all of you. I'm sure that will change. I'm sure you'll be household names soon." Although the meetup was tense, Chappelle came with gifts. The comedian gave out 600 Thanksgiving meals and tickets to a screening of his new documentary, Untitled. Andrew Yang, who Chappelle endorsed during his presidential run in 2020, came to Comics Defense after the story started to make waves. On Twitter, he wrote, "The press hit job on his visiting high school is awful. Successful alum who fundraises for school returns, speaks to students, and gives everyone a free meal for Thanksgiving. But of course, in 2021, an obvious positive gesture is framed negatively in the media." So I haven't talked a lot about The Closer, Dave Chappelle's newest Netflix special, and I'm kind of wanting to see how a lot of things play out. Now, I watched it. Did I think it was super transphobic? No, I didn't. I mean, I really didn't think it was that transphobic at all. He was just kind of stating an opinion, and because the one big thing, I mean, he was making. One thing, it was a comedy special, so you got to realize some of the things he was saying were jokes, and sometimes jokes aren't what you actually mean, folks. Another thing, yeah, I mean, and then you told his story about his friend Daphne, who was transgender, and like he had a transgender friend. I'm gonna be honest, not a lot of transphobic people have trans friends. That's very. I'm going to be honest, that's very true. You know, I've not met a lot of racists who have a black friend. They probably think they probably think lesser of like hood people, and they're like, I know one black guy. But yeah. So like his story about his friend Daphne, very interesting. Now I'm not trans, so I can't really speak on behalf of the trans experience in the world. But I feel like because I haven't heard any good arguments people have made. They're just like, it's just, everyone's more like, it was disgusting how Dave Chappelle talked about transgender people on his thing, and they didn't really give examples on what he said in regards to that. So I'm giving, in my mind, from what it sounds like, they didn't watch it. That's just my opinion. I feel like a lot of people are making statements about it and didn't watch it because, one, I feel like the people who did watch it made one statement about it, and they didn't really give examples about it, and then everyone else is just coattailing on that, but they didn't really watch it. And so I thought it was very interesting when he said, like, when Netflix was, people were scheduling a walkout at Netflix, he was like, yeah, I'm willing to be an audience or whatever for Netflix, but he gave him like, but it's going to have to come on my terms. First of all, you have to watch the special, which in my mind is like, it's really funny. And I guess he maybe made some other ones, but he ended it with, and he had to admit Hannah Gatsby is not funny. That's just, I don't know. That one's I can see as a joke, but at the same time, come on, like, that's just funny. I don't know if like they're having to admit that, but I do think he's a good thing. You need to watch it. So the thing is people being offended by shit. So back in my Christian days, I was at a camp, and famous pastor Rob Bell. So I know we have some ex-evangelicals here. If you're evangelical, I don't know how you're still listening to this show. I'm going to be honest. I don't know why you're here. But for the ex-evangelicals who come on this show and like listening to the shit I have to say, you probably know of Rob Bell. Remember, I want to say it was 2011-ish. Yeah, I want to say 2011. He wrote a book, and it was basically confirming he thinks he's like a universalist, I think is the term, where everyone goes to heaven, regardless if you are, which in most Christian sects, everyone's a little different.
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
But everyone's a little different, but the idea is you have to accept Jesus and get baptized is kind of a big thing, and follow in his teachings to what you'd consider a degree. That's the general rule. And then you gotta
let's go full throttle.
Let's go full throttle for Jesus. That's kind of a general thing. Every little subsect of Christianity is a little different in that regards. So that's kind of like the main gist of it. But then he came out as a universalist, where everyone goes to heaven, regardless of who you are, and there's a little bit more details into it. I haven't read the book, so I'm not going to talk a lot more shit. Anyways, the story I'm trying to tell is he released a book kind of confirming about how he's a universalist. And we were at this camp, and this guy was like talking, doing a class type thing, and he basically said that he was basically talking about how it was bullshit to a degree. And then my friend who was also there, he actually just finished the book. He just like raised his hand and asked, "Did you read the book?" And then he was like, "No, I didn't." And so it's like, you can't be making a point. Like he said, like in the idea, like Rob Bell said he's a universalist, and he wrote a book giving points on why he believes this and why you should believe this or could believe this too. But then someone's criticizing it but hasn't read the book. Do you get what I'm trying to say here? A lot of these people criticizing Dave Chappelle have not watched the special or listened to it. I think you can only watch. So that's my thing with this, is that if you're going to criticize a work of art, you need to indulge in it, I guess, is the consume it. You have to do it. Even if you don't like it, you don't have to like everything. I've listened to shitty albums. Hopefully by the end of the month, I will be doing a end of year review of my top 10 favorite albums and albums that didn't hit right, and honorable mentions and shit like that. But with this, that really annoys me that people are criticizing the special and haven't even watched it. That just annoys me. Just at least watch it. And honestly, if you don't have a sense of humor, you shouldn't go to comedy clubs. You shouldn't listen to comedy. You shouldn't watch anything that's humorous. I know if you watch, you probably don't listen to this show. If you have a sense of humor, if you don't have a sense of humor, I guess you don't check out this show. That's just a normal thing. And then I guess he goes to the school. I mean, I guess he's doing a back and forth with students, and like that sounds like a bad idea. It sounds like he could just give a speech and then leave. It doesn't sound like he needs to be having a back and forth with students. Like that sounds like a bad idea. People who don't. Also, it's like an art school, but like people who don't have any sense of humor, which is just a weird thing to be in. Like even like music people. Like I get like you don't make funny music or whatever. I'm like I don't make funny music. But at the same time, it's just like you don't have a sense of humor and you take yourself too seriously. It's just, you're not fun to be around. It's hard to work with you to like that. So, but anyways, the Thanksgiving meals though, I don't know if they're complaining about that. I think they're just complaining. They're calling him a bigot and transphobic. Just at least, I will say this, have your own opinions on it, but at least check out the special, watch the special. Even if you don't have a sense of humor, and then form an opinion on it and give reasons to your opinion on it. That's how things work. That's how the world works. I know right now you just say shit and people will believe it's fact, but like how vaccines cause autism, but there was only one research paper which has now been, or one scientific journal about it in like 1999, and now that's proven false, and all vaccines are fine. You're just stupid. And if you have a problem,
White people, white people.
damn, I always pressed the wrong one.
Pretty bold of you little fucks to assume that I'm not God.
Well, look at you. You just finished one of the many highlights from Cancel Schweezy. Glad you watched, and I hope you learned something important in your life today. We have more highlights available for you to watch, out now, available now for you to watch. And we got full episodes as well, so don't be stingy and go watch another highlight. And like I said, stay awesome.